In February 2013, 21-year-old Elisa Lam traveled alone from Vancouver, Canada to Los Angeles. She was a bright, creative student with dreams of adventure, exploration, and finding her place in the world. Elisa loved books, fashion, and writing. She often shared her thoughts openly on social media, revealing a thoughtful, sensitive soul who sometimes struggled with anxiety and depression. Elisa had been diagnosed with bipolar disorder and depression, conditions she spoke openly about on her blog. She described her struggles candidly, offering a glimpse into the complex inner world she carried with her. Despite these challenges, Elisa remained hopeful, documenting her dreams, fears, and aspirations with remarkable honesty. She arrived in Los Angeles full of excitement, choosing to stay at the historic Cecil Hotel, an old building in downtown LA known for its cheap rates and troubled past. She checked in on January 26th. She was assigned a shared room on the 5th floor, but after reports from her roommates about Elisa's odd behavior, she was moved to a private room a few days later. This is the true story of the mysterious death of Elisa Lam. At first, everything seemed ordinary. Elisa visited local bookstores, explored the city, and kept in daily contact with her parents back in Vancouver. She spoke of the sights she had seen, the people she had met. But then, without warning, the calls and emails stopped. Her parents, immediately alarmed, contacted the Los Angeles Police Department, and the search for Elisa began. Flyers with her photo were posted around the city. Investigators combed through the hotel, searching hallways, stairwells, and the rooftop. They found her belongings left behind in her room: her laptop, wallet, clothes, everything except Elisa herself. With no leads, the police released a piece of key evidence: surveillance footage from one of the hotel's elevators recorded on the night of her disappearance. In the now infamous video, Elisa appears confused and distressed. She presses multiple buttons on the elevator panel. She peeks out into the hallway, stepping in and out nervously. She moves her hands in strange, twisting gestures as if speaking to an unseen presence. At times, she hides against the elevator wall, glancing toward the corridor. Strangely, the elevator doors stay open much longer than normal, refusing to close even as she moves inside. Then, after nearly 4 minutes, Elisa steps out and vanishes from view. The elevator doors finally close behind her. To many viewers, the footage felt otherworldly, as if the hotel itself had trapped her within its walls. Others believed it captured the precise moment when reality blurred into something far stranger. It was this chilling uncertainty that kept people watching and wondering. The footage went viral, viewed by millions within days. Speculation ran wild across the internet. Was Elisa being followed? Was she suffering a mental health episode? Or was something more sinister at play within the walls of the Cecil Hotel? The building itself had long been linked to darkness. Since its opening in 1927, the Cecil Hotel had earned a reputation for tragedy. It was a place associated with suicides, murders, and even serial killers passing through its halls. Infamous figures like Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, had stayed there. Stories of shadowy figures, phantom sounds, and unexplained deaths had surrounded the building for decades. In the eyes of many, Elisa Lamb's fate became the latest and perhaps most heartbreaking addition to its dark lore. As days turned into weeks, frustration and fear mounted. Where had she gone? How could a young woman vanish from a locked building without a trace? Then, on February 19th, strange complaints began to surface from hotel guests. They reported low water pressure, foul-tasting water, and black discoloration coming from their taps. Maintenance workers were dispatched to the rooftop, where 4 large water tanks supplied the building. Opening one of the tanks, they made a horrifying discovery. Floating inside the water was the body of Elisa Lam. She was naked, her clothes found at the bottom of the tank. There were no visible wounds, no signs of struggle. The tank lid was reportedly difficult to open, heavy and awkward even for staff members. The rooftop access doors were supposed to be locked and alarmed. Yet somehow, Elisa had reached the roof unnoticed, climbed onto the tank, opened the lid, and slipped inside. The discovery horrified not only her family but also the guests, who had unknowingly consumed contaminated water for weeks. Lawsuits were filed against the hotel, claiming negligence and unsafe conditions. Public outcry grew as questions about the hotel's responsibility mounted. The coroner's report would later rule her death an accidental drowning. Toxicology results showed no signs of drugs or alcohol beyond her prescribed medication, no evidence of foul play, no signs of assault. Yet, many questions remain. Why did she act so strangely in the elevator? Why had she ended up on the roof, a place she shouldn't have been able to reach? How could she have closed the heavy lid from inside the tank, if it was ever closed at all? And if it wasn't foul play, why had no one heard or seen anything? Some pointed to urban legends and ghost stories long associated with the Cecil Hotel. Tales of shadowy figures, phantom sounds, and unexplained deaths had surrounded the building for decades. In the eyes of many, Elisa Lamb's death became the latest and perhaps most haunting chapter in the hotel's long history. Conspiracy theories flourished. Some believed Elisa had fallen victim to dark forces that lingered within the building. Others insisted the answer was more mundane, yet just as heartbreaking, a young woman overwhelmed by the weight of her own mind. The death of Elisa Lam continues to haunt the halls of the Cecil Hotel, a place where sorrow seems etched into the very walls. A young woman filled with hope and dreams, lost forever in a place weighed down by decades of darkness. Today, the Cecil Hotel stands under a new name, rebranded and remodeled. But for many, its legacy remains unchanged. A place where the walls seem to whisper forgotten sorrows, where the shadows hold secrets too heavy to reveal. Elisa's story reminds us how fragile life is, how easily one step, one moment can lead into the unknown, and how sometimes answers are swallowed by the silence. What do you believe happened to Elisa Lam? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoy true mysteries like this one, subscribe for more, because sometimes the most chilling stories are the ones that really happened.